Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Solutions, and I'm coming around the table, so we'll do solutions. The government, through Finance Ministry, has released 350 million cedis for flood relief. The government has launched National Post-Flood Recovery and Mitigation. Is that?
Well, in responding to this question, let me attempt to disagree a bit to Kosi, where he lumped all politicians together in terms of leadership failures here and there, because where there was to be some arrangement, so to speak, where a politician would tell her, hey, go ahead and do it, just to break the rule. There can be one or two examples. But when you lump all of us together, that look, there are politicians who don't want to comply with the laws or that kind of thing, that may not be true. There could be one or two excesses where some politicians have failed in that arrangement. But that is not total to lump all of us together.
I also disagree with you.
Let me finish.
Kofi,
let me finish.
We are giving the mandate to lead.
Let me finish.
So we need to make sure that the people who work under us do go according to what
you cannot be everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You cannot be everywhere.
But we need to whip.
Can I finish, please? Yeah. Thank you. You cannot be everywhere.
But you have lieutenants everywhere.
That is where I am saying that you need to be proactive as a leader to make sure the people in the helm of affairs who reports to you, sometimes you go behind their back. When I was in office, sometimes when I'm coming from Tema to office, I don't go straight to the office. I head towards Islego or I go to Medina. You go to Zongo Junction, heaps of garbage along all these refuse on the way because they brought it from the market and dumped them there. I'll call the MC. Where are you? They say, I'm not leaving home to the office. I say, hurry up and come and make sure you call these things here. Because it's an eyesore. Kofi touched something about population explosion and the generation of these slums all over. On the stretch of the motorway, when you enter there, it's called when Natoshi was the MP, Jesus Christ, and I follow him into the slums. It's a whole community. A whole community votes.
If you want to deal with it, your party will not allow you.
You understand? And he said something. Yeah. Where do they dispose their waste? Solid waste, liquid waste. They just create these feces around the place. And the public health matter there. They defecate anyhow. And the solid waste, where are they disposing them? It is an issue that the local assembly will need to look at it.
You know, Moro, I'm not cutting him. When he was a regional minister, I'm sitting here today and I want to say about him. He had a problem. Yeah. Because people were virtually reclaiming a Ramsey site in Dansoman to build. And he doesn't want to talk about it, but I'm saying it here. He got up against it because that is not right. He had a problem politically.
So the political will.
Is there, we must,
and it has to be at the highest authority.
Yes, all of us must be responsible as politicians. Some of our own people, because maybe you may be a minister, but somebody is more connected than you.
Yeah.
So you understand?
So you can't do the work.
Yeah. So you move here and then you are called and say, "Nekwate,
what he's saying is true.
You can't do anything.
I've not told him anything.
And I think Henry Cotti also had
he suffered the same thing. But you know what? Before I attempted to go to the Ramsar, I had an engagement with the president. And I told him, Mr. President, I am sure that when I start this exercise, people will begin to backbite me and do all kinds of funny things. Please, I need your backing so that I can have my free mind and go. And I entered. And of course, people started. But because I've told you, the Lord, don't mind them. Go ahead and do what you are supposed to do. He touched on the issue about design of drains. Growing up in Katamanta, we are direct cousins. From the old UTC to a Barclays Bank, heading towards Tazan, we had a big drain. Our young boys went to the gutter and we played. We racing in the. Now they have shrunk the drain to like this size.
Even a rat cannot go through.
I'm saying that to this size. Wow. So the volume of water that comes from UTC, all that drain is like this. And people have used the space left to trade. Use that space to trade. Now you come to Tema Committee 1. Between the harbour roundabout to the post office, the drain was like this. Now it has shrinked. In front of my mother's house in Site 1, Kwame Nkrumah had a big drain like this. Now it is like that. So the design, the engineers too, will blame you too.
He said you shouldn't blame him. The politicians are
I also want to send it to him.
Implement.
No. So the design, the design itself.
No.
You know, it's a major challenge to all of us that we need to look at. So you're asking me of the solution. We have to really look at the designs again. If you have a drain that is big, maintain it. If possible, expand it.
And this will be the assemblies.
Absolutely. Number 2, don't sit in the comfort of your air-conditioned office and give approvals. Move. If you are an officer, chief executive, a regional minister, move to the ground and see what happens. I go run at least 2-3 assemblies before I come and sit in my office. Move around. When I was in Vaco, every week as chief executive, I go run in Tampa 3 times. I will not see them reading reports. Before the report to come, I know what is there. So you'll be able to track everything that is going on. You read the report, you call the director and say, hey, I've read this report, but this is not what is on the ground. It tells you that the leader there is very proactive.
Otherwise, they mislead you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, we need to identify, like you said, the the dumping site. Now we got finished. But technology and infrastructure will help us. Now the process plant that he has at Mudo to process the liquid and the solid waste into compost, fertilizer. It's good because he processes it and uses the fertilizer into agriculture. If we can plant some of them, erect some across, it's going to help us in deal with some of these things. 2, the desilting and dredging of these streams and these rivers must come on time. I can tell you where Sakumono is right now. Leave here this morning and drive towards Tema. You see these green leaves right at the estuary, the channel where the lagoon and the sea, they enter each other. It's choked. The next 2-3 hours continuous rain. The shrine, the Tema shrine, Sakumo shrine, right, is almost all covered. And you have people who have bought lands into the Sakumo lagoon. When I was in office, I went to, there's a lady called, he said she's affected Sakumo Manyego. She was mentioning my name on social media, titles global, bye. Human being has built fence wall in the Call Lagoon. One Sunday I didn't go to church. I called the MC for Tema West. I said, let's go. We hide a backhoe. We use a hand to pull, because the whole place was muddy. If the backhoe and it was stuck. So we used the task force and pulled them down. We left the next day, the wall was fixed. 3 occasions. I told them, I'm not coming back here. It is your duty. Me, the regional minister, I cannot be coming and pulling down walls. That's number 1. Today.
But that was, who was developing? Why didn't
you can find?
Why didn't
we arrested.
prosecute them?
Exactly. We arrested the caretaker. We arrested the owner. We can find.
So it's a common caretaker you found.
So it's the caretaker we found there. So they arrested him. They gave him bail.
He has nothing.
What can I do? The real owner did not show his face. So this is what is happening. The assembly should not sit down for these things to happen. They must be everywhere.
Okay. All right. I also want your solution, and then I'll finally conclude with engineer before we leave.
Oh, well, let me say this. As far solutions, myriad.
So the money has been released by the finance minister.
The money alone will not do anything. 1.
But the committees too will not do it. The committees are becoming
attitudinal change.
The soldier we have seen, who we are told is the one going to.
No, they are going to do what we call the immediate response to make sure that the situation we have now is mitigated by certain actions. But after that, the laws must work. The indiscipline must stop. The corruption must end.
There's a man who used to be Accra mayor many years ago. People always celebrate him. They say he did a great job when he was mayor. I don't know if that was a greater Accra minister or mayor. It seems we don't have that. So
let me say this, yes. Moro. One of the things we talk about when it comes to the management of discipline and the general behavior around Kwame Nkrumah Circle during the Rawlings era was what? Salifa Mankwa.
He's a name I'm looking for, not a mayor. So he was only a mayor.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because he made sure that the rules are obeyed. You don't have to cross the road here. You don't have to walk here. If we don't bro, that is all about us as human beings.
But you see, that's why the politics comes in. Henry Cote did this. For the first time, I drove to Medina Zongo Junction and there was no traffic. And this is because he made the city guards make sure they use a full brake.
And people are disciplined.
But he was undermined, he was attacked, and then
that's what I'm saying. All boils down to the fact that all of us as a people must understand that this thing has happened and we didn't learn lessons from it. We can't have a different result when we continue to do the same thing all the time. So this time, by the grace of God, that is where I want to differ from my brother and all those who were criticizing the National Day of Thanksgiving. This thing could have taken thousands of lives. We must even thank God that we had it this way. You understand? I agree. And because you see, what I saw, the volume of water I saw, and the refuse I saw from, I don't know where it came from, through the Alajo drain.
It looked like a boat. It looked like a barge, not a boat. So a barge. It looked like a barge. You see, I saw the video. It was arriving until it arrived, and then it continued, and then it got blocked.
It was scary.
It was like someone decided to dump a truckload of refuse on the water.
It means that people were dumping at a particular part of the drain for a long time.
And the final water carried
it. You get me?
I think you can actually sit on it.
So
that's how it looked like. Honestly, if you look at it, it looked like a big...
Awful.
You see, the general attitude and discipline in this country must end. You talk about Sunyani. When I grew up in Sunyani, Brong Ahafo itself was the most, let me say, planned region.
Okay.
Brong Ahafo. Today I go to Sunyani and I see lotto kiosks all over. I used to stand in front of the then Sunyani police station. I could see the last building at the end, and every building was online. Today, you won't see it.
It's changing.
Go to my place in Zongo Lane. We have a lane between Rufangoro to where we used to eat motu. Today, go there and see. It's gone.
There's no order.
So I'm saying that discipline is the first thing, and leadership. If leadership will be disciplined, make sure that the laws that we passed are enforced effectively and efficiently.
Titus Glover tried the leadership and the discipline team by going to sack someone from selling under a new interchange. You saw the backlash.
That's what I'm saying, that we need to be disciplined and leadership must be leadership. You see, I would prefer people call me names, but ultimately do what will bring relief to the people who will be calling me names. In the beginning, people will not see wisdom in what you are doing, but later they will all appreciate what you have done. Because if we have all maintained a very serious outlook at waste disposal and people not building in waterways and the rest, would we have come to this stage? You understand? And all of us, and I'm saying, and I, engineer, forgive me. I blame us, politicians, people in official positions, but I also blame you, the engineers. You see, if you don't know who you are, that's why you allow a politician to tell you what to do.
But the politician has political authority. You engineer, common district
you
engineer,
have the professional...
They'll transfer you to the north as punishment.
Oh. And you think that's the end of it? You don't have recourse to law?
No, so you stay quiet.
You don't have recourse to law? It's because people fear. When I was Minister for Sports, and we had this match, we had already qualified for Cup of Nations. We qualified for the World Cup. You understand? We had a match. We were going to play Uganda. And we didn't have money. Meanwhile, other disciplines needed money. The volleyball team had to qualify for Olympic Games. The disabled team has to qualify. And we had not paid allowances on the Black Queens and the Black Princesses. And people wanted me to use money, almost about $900,000 for the Black Stars match.
Which is non-scoring.
Which is not scoring. Moro, against the many voices, including some of my own people, I told Mr. President, this is the situation we have. He said, that's why I've chosen you as a minister. Go and do what is right.
But how many would we get like that?
So what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, that we need that discipline of ourselves. The engineer should be able to tell the MCE that, Mr. MCE, this is against the spatial planning of the district. I'm sorry, even though the person is your wife, is your mother, is your brother, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. That is what makes him a professional public officer.
He got nerves.
He has to write the report. So that when he has written the report and the DCE or the MCE defy and goes ahead and give approval, he will have something to defend. It's because we are ready to succumb. Even though we know what the person is doing is wrong, we are ready. You understand? Somebody saw me building at the place. He will not talk. Because, hey, when I go and talk, people will insult me. People will point fingers at me. That is the problem we have in this country. People see, look, I've seen a situation where somebody was being picked. His phone was being taken from his pocket. People were standing there. They were not quiet because it's not their phone. You get me? Forgetting that when his phone has been picked, you will be the next. The problem we have to do that, we need to be each other's keeper and understand that this state is important, this city is important to all of us. Because the accounts have a proverb, they say that any say no one, but your boy assume no, only first person assume. You get me? Yeah. Because today, the people who are living in Chado, who thought that the indiscipline at the Ramsey site will not touch them. Now the water came from Teshinungwa, came to Chado, and their cars are gone. You get me? The people who were leaving, look, I saw what happened in a place like Malam, and I was wondering. We know that some people have built cement factories. A Chinese company has built a huge cement factory at a place where I was a child. The whole of that area, we call it a Pambros area. It's a swampy area. Pambros was given the opportunity to build the salt lakes and ponds there, so that they can even collect the water. From that place to Dansoman. From that place to Dansoman was reserved as a Ramsey site. And as a go and see what is happening. Factories have been built, churches, about 4 or 5 churches have been built, and people go to church every Sunday in that building. And they think that is the government who should. But I'm asking myself, all the assemblies there, what did they do when those things were being built?
The contract was given at Accra. The Wijak Bawe MC possibly would not even know. All they do is that this is happening. What can you do?
Look, certain citizens even went to court. On the cement factory.
They made a lot of
noise about it, about the pollution. But some people in government at the time were behind the construction. And it is happening all over the place. Yeah. So sometimes it's not just about the ordinary citizens, because like engineer said, I'm good, I need the land. I've come to Accra, I've worked a little. You have come from Dodua. Yeah? You come to Accra. You wouldn't want to go and live there. No. So you want to build in Accra.
If there was a train, and that's what I always say about if there was a train.
You prefer living there?
I would live in my father's house.
I would prefer living in Ada and coming to work and going back if there is a train. Yeah. Because when I was in UK, I used to ride on a train for almost 2-3 hours. Yeah. You get me? But what I'm saying that, so in Accra, you want to have a place. So you go. In the dry season, they give you the land. They sell the land to you. Yeah. You wouldn't know that place is a waterlogged
unless you're a village boy, you know the grass that grows in waterlogged area. When you sit down, you know. Me, when I see, I know. When I see some weeds, I know.
When the person comes, it is not an assembly, because everybody who builds in this country needs 2 permits. The development permit and the building permit. Am I lying?
Yes.
The development permit is to conform to the zoning and the spatial planning of the place.
Yeah.
And then the building permit is the building you are putting up. Whether that building is even going to impact on the environment, whether you have to build a concrete, whether you have to build a wooden, all those things are there.
They do it from the office, so they don't even come and do the fiscal inspection.
So I'm saying, when the person comes, I've bought the land, as I said, I come. It is for him, engineer, to tell me that, unfortunately, your permit will not pass because this does not conform to the development plan of the area.
Yeah.
2, the sort of building you want to put up. Like we have situation where we said, certain parts of Accra, you cannot have high rises because they are earthquake zone.
Yeah.
But people are building high rises in those areas.
No one is stopping them.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, say, oh, Munya Madre, Munya Niamokano, and then Pokra, you see that was wrong. You understand? Pokra, you see that was wrong.
Okay.
But, so, Umwaro, the issue has to do with, the best thing we can do, money, anything we want to do, if you say that what we need to do to resolve this problem, I would say 1, the general discipline of all of us, people in authority, the state players, those of us, the citizens in the society, all of us need to understand that where we've gotten to, we cannot continue that way. And let's track back and be disciplined, conform to the rules and the bylaws we have, and let's all avoid a situation where I think I can take some money and let somebody do what he wants to do. Because at the end of it all, so the discipline of all of us is what will help all of us. If we can avoid being indisciplined and avoid the corruption within the society, and many of these problems will be solved.
Okay, thank you, Ni. And I'm looking at the videos on our screen. Very, very sad. Full vehicles being submerged. I'll come to engineer today, but before that, I want to speak to another engineer friend of yours, Engineer Richard Kofi Ameko. He's head of drainage at the Ministry of Works and Housing, as well as water resources. Engineer Ameko, you're welcome to the big issue. Hello, sir.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
Good.
Good morning to you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
How long have you been in the government system as an engineer for? And I'm asking this because my panelists in studio are telling me that our drains are narrowing, or they are becoming narrower instead of becoming wider. I don't know if you know about this. They mentioned Accra Central, they mentioned Tema, and so many other places. You are head of drains. What's happening to our drains?
Thank you, Sandra, for the question. And good morning to you. Good morning to your cherished viewers. And then good morning to my honorable members on the studio. Yes, I have been in the ministry for the past 16 years. So I'm familiar, I know the basins in Greater Accra very well.
Okay.
For some years, what has been happening?
Okay, continue. I'm listening to you. Hello? Mr. Ameko, can you hear me? Apologies, I think I've lost Engineer Ameko. I'll try and re-establish connection with him because I want to know what the problem with our drains are and why he, as head of drains, supervising choked drains. Engineer, consider I can get your concluding solutions before we go.
So, yes, I very much agree with the position takes that professionals need to stamp their authority and do what is right. But you see, when the same leadership decides that professionals will only rise in public service unmeritoriously, then you have a problem. Because change of government comes, and then people are changed, not because they are not professionals, but simply because you are not a member of our party. That is how politicians...
Professionals?
Yes, that is how politicians have destroyed our public service.
Civil service and public service.
Exactly.
How did they become politicians?
But you have even people in the Bank of Ghana standing for elections, isn't it? Contesting elections. Is that not so?
Bank of Ghana.
So what I'm saying is that even now, you see people leaving other private institutions, going to the Bank of Ghana because now a bigger building is there, there's small space, simply being employed. The banks collapsed in this country, nobody was held accountable. I mean, so these are the issues. You see, I agree, professionals, and I'm one of those people who continuously tells my own colleagues that we need to stand up and challenge political authority. As professionals, we need to do that. And I think that that is only better even if the professional bodies themselves also rise up so that they can better protect our colleagues in public service. So I very much support that position. Professionals need to stand the authority so that even unmeritorious issues need to be challenged. You see, these are the things. Look, VRA, let me give you a typical example of VRA. A government changes, people are just asked to go and sit home. Go and vet the kind of promotions that were done in VRA. Let's be serious as a country. So political leadership takes the blame, ultimately. But I say that I will encourage professionals to stand up to authority. Very important. Because that is the only way you can then say that your profession is good for what it is. Because I am ashamed that any engineer from any developed country comes here and says, who are you? And says, you are an engineer. He looks around the country and says, you are not a good engineer. That is the conclusion that person will reach. So until we as professionals begin to stand up and say that this is not right, this is not right, we will be blamed.
Okay.
But political authority cannot run away. So one, now, we have moved beyond just drains. We need to look at the issue of retention ponds, creating them. So anywhere that we need to now create development, even private homes, I would say that let's insist, can we do rainwater harvesting? Let's do it. Once you have the money, I tell people all the time that if you have the money, do it. But especially for commercial buildings that are coming up, we should make it a law that they must harvest their rains.
Their rainwater.
They must harvest the rainwater and keep it.
Shouldn't just open it.
No, they
shouldn't continue.
And especially, look, and for all those who have built beyond the special requirement, we must find them. We must put in place levies.
So for instance, if you own a chain of shops in front of a main road, the car park where customers come to, you can do a reservoir under it, correct?
Exactly. Things like that.
So they collect the water.
So that you collect the water. When the rains have stopped, you can pump that water gradually into the drains. So for me, municipal assembly, you see, and the law allows them to be creative. This is where they have to sit down and say, all of you who have built beyond the special requirement, we are going to impose a levy on you.
Okay.
Effective now. And it should be an annual thing. They must pay. Because every year it rains and they are impacting the infrastructure. So they must pay. They must impose levies on them. So the municipal authorities need to be creative. Then we need to be holding people accountable. All the buildings that we are now saying we are going to pull down, if any of them has permits, we should go back to the people who granted the permits and hold them accountable. Okay. We shouldn't let it go. Okay. You see, because when you simply go and pull down that building, you haven't done enough. You must hold people accountable. Enforcement of rules, henceforth, is important. The role of
in fact, not pulling down the building alone, but
dredging
according to a law, when you pull down the building, the cost of demolition must be borne by the person who knows.
Exactly. Now again, the role of estate developers in this country, we have failed to regulate and control estate developers in this country. And that is also part of this problem. So people acquire a piece of land, so estates, they put up estates. Who is regulating that practice? Lands that are supposed to be farmlands, we are giving them, and that is why zoning is important. That is why I keep saying that unless we enforce laws, zoning laws and everything, we are allowing estate developers to buy lands all over this country, farmlands, next to highways, and the highways slow down.
My village, where I grew up, where we used to head cattle, we had to move our cattle to the Volta region because the grazing field has now been taken over.
When was the last time you went to Ada?
I haven't been in a while.
So
that was what I was talking about. The Accra Plains.
Exactly.
Yeah, the watermelon farms.
From Dowenya going to
all our estates
now are becoming estate development.
Let me just land. So we need to be mindful of these things. That estate development needs to be regulated. Now, show me in the last 30 years any estate developer that has put up a central sewage system. You see, so the waste issues are leading to health crisis. Estate developments must be properly regulated in terms of even the land that we give them to develop, then the kind of facilities they need to put into those places so that we can manage our cities better. Okay. You see, when you acquire a huge tract of land, the estate must be almost self-containing, where people have shops, they have all, so that they don't have to be traveling far. Then we also need to ensure that the drainage system, you see,
the services.
At the moment, where do we dispose of sewage? Which facilities in Accra do we dispose of sewage? So if you manage a city properly, you will see that very soon we don't have any space to dispose of sewage in Accra.
Put it in the sea.
Major problem. So estate developers must be regulated so that they must begin to put in central sewage systems and treatment facilities within the space that they have been given. If we don't do these things, the city is chaotic and it's going to get worse. And the impact on health is going to be catastrophic. So these are the things we need to. If you go to University of Ghana today, that beautiful space that you see, if you go behind, right next to the registry, they are creating a waste dump there. Because there's nowhere to dump waste. So I mean, Accra specifically is in crisis. And unless leadership...
You mean the engineering department of the University of Ghana cannot develop ways of managing their waste within the university community?
So when you say the University of Ghana, we are autonomous, and that is why some years ago when Bevulolati challenged them when they were trying to put in a tolling gate, I supported that decision. I said, why? The university's impact on the immediate surrounding must be questioned. They can't do that. Now the university itself is creating a waste dump next to its registry. I mean, how?
Thank you, Engineer. Engineer Kosede. Let me now.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.